Hello and a very warm welcome to the brand new edition of Parliament This Week, your weekly roundup of all important developments in Parliament. I'm Kriti Mishra and now let's begin the show. At first, let's talk about the all-party meet. So Prime Minister Narendra Modi chaired an all-party meeting on the India-China border face-off on Friday. The virtual meeting began with participants paying tributes to the 20 Indian soldiers martyred in the violent face-off with Chinese troops in East Ladakh earlier this week. Here are all the highlights.
आप सभी वरिष्ठ महानुभावों ने जो विचार रखे हैं वह बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण है। हम सभी देश की सीमाओं की रक्षा में दिन रात लगे हमारे वीर जवानों के साथ चट्टान की तरह खड़े हैं। उनकी वीरता, उनके कौशल, उनकी सूझबूझ पर देश अटूट विश्वास रखता है। इस सर्वदलीय बैठक के माध्यम से मैं शहीदों के परिवारों को भी ये विश्वास दिलाता हूं कि पूरा देश उनके साथ है, पूरा देश उन्हें नमन करता है। साथियों, पूर्वी लद्दाख में जो हुआ उसको लेकर आपने रक्षा मंत्री जी और विदेश मंत्री जी को सुना भी और प्रेजेंटेशन को भी देखा। न वहां कोई हमारी सीमा में घुस आया है, न ही कोई घुसा हुआ है, न ही हमारी कोई पोस्ट किसी दूसरे के कब्जे में है। लद्दाख में हमारे 20 जाबाज शहीद हुए, लेकिन जिन्होंने भारत माता की तरफ आंख उठाकर देखा था, उन्हें वो सबक सिखा कर गए हैं। उनका ये शौर्य, ये बलिदान हमेशा हर भारतीय के मन में अमिट रहेगा। साथियों, निश्चित तौर पर चीन द्वारा एलएसी पर जो किया गया है उससे पूरा देश आहत है, आक्रोशित है। ये भावना हमारी इस चर्चा के दौरान भी आप सबके माध्यम से बार बार प्रकट हुई है। मैं आपको भी आश्वस्त कर रहा हूं कि हमारी सेना देश की रक्षा के लिए कोई कसर नहीं छोड़ रही है। डिप्लॉयमेंट हो, एक्शन हो, काउंटर एक्शन हो, जल थल नभ में हमारी सेनाओं को देश की रक्षा के लिए जो करना है वो कर रही है। आज हमारे पास ये कैपेबिलिटी है कि कोई भी हमारी 1 इंच जमीन की तरफ आंख उठाकर भी नहीं देख सकता। आज भारत की सेनाएं हर सेक्टर में एक साथ मूव करने में पूरी तरह सक्षम है। ऐसे में हमने जहां एक तरफ सेना को अपने स्तर पर उचित कदम उठाने की छूट दी है, वहीं दूसरी तरफ डिप्लोमेटिक माध्यमों से भी चीन को अपनी बात दो टूक स्पष्ट कर दी है।
And now let's talk about Rajya Sabha polls. So voting for 19 Rajya Sabha seats spread across 8 states concluded peacefully at 4 p.m. on Friday. Voting began at 9 a.m. in the respective assemblies and concluded at 4 p.m. Polling took place in 8 states simultaneously. Gujarat, 4 seats, Andhra Pradesh, 4 seats, Rajasthan 3 seats, Jharkhand 2 seats, Manipur, Meghalaya and Mizoram 1 seat each. Apart from routine preparations, the Election Commission had made special arrangements for sanitization and social distancing in view of the coronavirus outbreak. Here's the detailed report.
In Madhya Pradesh, of the 3 Rajya Sabha seats, the BJP bagged 2 while the Congress took 1. BJP nominee Jyotiraditya Scindia won the Rajya Sabha election from the state. The other winning candidates were BJP candidate Sumer Singh Solanki and Congress candidate Digvijay Singh. In Rajasthan, the ruling Congress won 2 out of the 3 seats while the BJP bagged the remaining seat. The winning candidates were KC Venugopal and Neeraj Dangi for the Congress and Rajendra Gehlot for the BJP. In Andhra Pradesh, the YSRCP took all 4 seats. Its candidates Pilli Subhash Chandra Bose, Mopidevi Venkataramana, Alla Ayodhya Rami Reddy and Parimal Nathwani were elected to the Rajya Sabha. Of the seats in Jharkhand, the JMM and the BJP won a seat each. In Manipur, ruling BJP candidate Lesemba Sanajauba defeated Congress candidate T. Mangi Babu. In Meghalaya, National People's Party candidate W.R. Kharloki won the lone Rajya Sabha seat. Polling was also held for 4 seats in Gujarat and 1 in Mizoram. Voting to elect 19 members of the Upper House of Parliament started at 9 a.m. and concluded at 4 p.m. The Election Commission had made special arrangements for sanitization, social distancing in view of the coronavirus outbreak. MLAs were allowed to enter the assemblies after thermal screening. Masks, gloves and sanitizers were made available within the premises. 18 of the 19 seats are part of the 55 Rajya Sabha seats that fell vacant earlier this year. Of these 55 seats, 37 were filled uncontested. Later, the EC announced polls for 4 seats in Karnataka and 1 seat each in Mizoram and Arunachal Pradesh. For the 4 vacant Rajya Sabha seats in Karnataka, former Prime Minister and JDS Chief H.D. Devegowda, Congress leader Mallikarjun Kharge and 2 BJP candidates were declared unanimously elected on June 12th. Also in Arunachal Pradesh, BJP nominee Nabam Rebia won the lone Rajya Sabha seat in the absence of any contestants.
And Rajya Sabha Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu congratulated the newly elected members. He said, and I quote, "My heartiest felicitations to all the 61 candidates who have been elected to the Rajya Sabha from 20 seats in the biennial elections. I extend a warm welcome to all of you. It's an honor to be in the Rajya Sabha, an institution founded on the principle of federalism that guides lawmaking and governance in the country. The elected represent a healthy mix of veterans and first-timers to the House, all bound by solemn commitment to the transformation of our country and make the 21st century as India's. I fondly hope that all the elected will make good use of this opportunity over the next 6 years. The 61 members representing as many as 20 political parties besides independents highlight the diversity of our polity and at the same time our resolute sense of unity of purpose and action. I'm keenly looking forward to meeting all of you at the earliest. I wish all of you success in your endeavors to contribute your bit to the transformation of our nation." Unquote. And moving on, Vice President of India M. Venkaiah Naidu urged the people to invest the modern life with the flavor of life of yesteryears for a complete living in harmony with the society and nature. Writing on Facebook, VP Naidu recalled and detailed the core principles of living in the earlier times and pointed out that the growing challenges and complexities of the present-day life was on account of the earlier flavor of life missing now. He further noted that the challenges of present-day life were brought out in sharp focus during the corona times. VP Naidu also noted that life then used to play out amid a network of strong social relationships and bonds with the attendant emotional, economic and social security. Sharing of joy and pain used to be the norm. Every individual was a source of strength and support to the other and every family likewise to others. There was no reason to feel alone and uncared for and no ground to be depressed. Take a look.
Writing on Facebook, Naidu recalled in detail the principles of living as they were practiced in earlier times. He pointed out that the growing complexities of present-day living are on account of the missing flavor of life of the olden days. He said the present era of the coronavirus has only brought the challenges of modern life into sharp focus. The Vice President said, and I quote, "Life then used to play out amidst a network of strong social relationships and bonds with the attendant emotional, economic and social security. Sharing of joy and pain used to be the norm. Every individual was a source of strength and support to the other, and every family likewise to others. There was no reason to feel alone and uncared for, and no ground to be depressed." Naidu said the flavor of life in earlier times was marked by a common purpose, collective action, sharing and caring, and social mobilization for common good. It was characterized by eating fresh and balanced food, adequate physical exercise, spiritual and creative engagement, a work-life balance, contented living, food and cultural habits that promoted immunity, hygiene, and so on. The Vice President said that in the present coronavirus times, these principles have to be restored. The Vice President noted that the modern life, in contrast, is marked by isolation, aloofness, and the resulting depression. It is a clear case of the flavor of the life those days missing now. While the life then was a part of extended living, there was no case of celebration of birthdays, which is a fashion in the modern order of alienation and isolation. Illustrating the ways of societal living, Naidu described the marriages of olden days as collective endeavors when men and women contributed in several ways to the host family. Villages together undertook works like repairs to bunds and breaches to water and irrigation tanks and canals, desilting, laying of internal roads. Naidu recalled that guests or visitors or even family members were required to leave footwear outside and enter the house only after washing their feet and hands. These, he said, were part of the various cultural practices that were aimed at checking infections and contagious diseases. The Vice President said hygiene, eating right food, regular exercise, boosting immunity, social distancing, beating depression, spiritual solace, living connected, all this is a part of the lexicon that gained wide popularity during the corona times. This is not a new discovery. In fact, it is more a missing link in the so-called modern life and was the flavor of life in olden times. Naidu called for a balanced living in harmony with the nature, avoiding excesses of all kinds for a better tomorrow. He stressed that prudence in eating, physical activity, sleeping, work-life balance, besides defining the meaning and purpose of life, shows the way forward.
So, well, that's all I had for you in this edition of Parliament This Week. Thanks for watching and stay tuned to Rajya Sabha Television.